ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਉਸ ਮਹਾਨ ਦਿਨ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਉਸ ਪੀਰੀਅਡ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ it is beginning of the golden period of the Sikh history, most inspirational because a common man became heroes. So we will hear all those stories, and in fact on wala jada sama hai, we will be marking each sort of event in the history of Sikh community after Guru Gobind Singh Ji da jehड़ा period hai ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇਤਿਹਾਸਕਾਰਾਂ ਨੇ golden period ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ। 1710 ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 1709 ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ almost 100 years ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੋਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੇ ਕੀ ਕੁਝ ਕਾਰਨਾਮੇ ਕੀਤੇ, ਉਹਦੀ ਇਹ ਬਿਗਨਿੰਗ ਪੀਰੀਅਡ ਹੈ ਅੱਜ ਆਪਾਂ ਸੈਲੀਬ੍ਰੇਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਬਾਬਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਦਾ। So before we bring Dr. Balwant Singh Ji, I would ask Misha Kaur to come on the stage and share her thoughts on today's event on Baba Banda Singh Bahadar's contribution.
Vaiguru Ji ka Khalsa.
Vaiguru Ji ki Fateh.
Baba Banda Singh Bahadur was the first Sikh king to establish Sikh rule in a large part of Punjab. Lakshman Das is his childhood name. While being fond of hunting in his early age, he once hunted a pregnant deer. The dying deer gave birth to 2 baby deers, who also were killed along with their mother in front of his eyes. Completely shaken by this incident and overwhelmed with grief, he decided to leave the world to become a sadhu. He then adopted several gurus, but none of them could provide him peace of mind. He turned to the tantric sadhus to acquire extreme knowledge. With the help of this knowledge, he was able to recruit a number of people as his followers. Through them, he became popular among the simple-minded people. Guru Gobind Singh Ji once visited his ashram along with some Sikhs, and in Lakshman Das's absence, sat on his beautifully decorated cot. When Lakshman Das came back, he was furious about Guruji's inhabiting his seat. His followers and him attempted to overturn the cot to humiliate and punish Guruji for his adventurous doing, but they failed to cause him any harm. The Guruji remained on the cot with a smiling face. Accepting defeat, he fell at the feet of the Guruji and asked for his forgiveness and said, "Oh Guruji, I am your Banda. Show me the light and put me on the right path." He dedicated himself to the service of Guruji and was prepared to do anything necessary. Guruji accepted and taught him the basic principles of the Sikh religion, gave Amrit to Lakshman Das, and named him Banda Singh. Guruji's Amrit changed Lakshman Das's life completely. He was no longer troubling and humiliating innocent people, but he became a bold and loyal Sikh of the 10th Guru. Guru Gobind Singh Ji sent Banda Singh on a mission to Punjab to punish the guilty and brutal rulers of the time. He was provided with 5 brave Sikhs as advisors and with the necessary weapons. Fully armed and accompanied by bold Sikhs and Guruji's blessings, Banda Singh proceeded towards Punjab. On his way, he punished robbers and criminals, which made him even more well-liked with the people. Banda Singh possessed no army. Instead, his strength was the Hukamnama of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. The rulers of Punjab were already well aware of the fighting skills of the Sikhs and were thus terrified to face them. In a brief moment, leader Banda Singh and Sikh forces put to death many tyrant rulers, including Nazir Wazir Khan, who was responsible for the killing of the 2 younger sons of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. In the meantime, Aurangzeb became the emperor of Delhi. Angered by the defeat of Mughal forces at the hands of Banda Singh, he sent a large force from Delhi and other places to defeat and capture Baba Banda Singh. Although the Sikhs were not prepared with weapons, they were powered on the intense rage of the killings of Guruji's children. The brave and daring deeds of these Sikhs were amazing. However, several days later, the exhausted and starving Sikhs were tricked when Banda Singh was approached to reconcile with the government. He was arrested instead and put in an iron cage. Other Sikhs were captured, chained, and brought to Delhi. Along with 700 Sikh prisoners from Punjab, there were 2,000 Sikh heads on spears to terrorize the public. They were pressured to give up their faith and become Muslims. On their firm refusal, all of them were ordered to be executed. Every day, 100 Sikhs were brought out of the fort and murdered in public. The brave Sikhs showed no sign of regret or humiliation. Instead, they sang of sacred juggles. No one feared death or gave their faith. Baba Banda Singh Bahadur, among all those Sikhs, were martyred. I think the bravery of these Sikhs and the devotion to their faith is truly inspirational. I believe that nowadays that there are plenty of distractions in life to keep us from being loyal. But the history of this one man and his journey from an aimless human to a faithful Sikh with the help of Guru Gobind Singh Ji is only a small portion of what motivates me to stay in touch with Guru and to keep my faith strong. Right, Ji Ka Khalsa.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ
Sad Singh Ji, I'm here to speak about Baba Banda Singh Bahadur Ji, a renowned figure in history. Banda Singh was originally named Lakshman Das. He was an amazing hunter, but gave this up after 2 cubs died in front of him. After he gave this up, he became a powerful sorcerer named Madhav Das. One day, when Guru Gobind Singh Ji visited his so-called shrine, Madhav Das was absent, so Guruji sat on his decorated seat. Upon Madhav Das's return, he tried to humiliate Guruji by flipping the seat, but he failed. He then devoted himself to the Guru and named himself Banda Singh, or slave of the Guru. Guruji then put Banda Singh on the task of bringing justice to the Mughal tyrants of the day. Guruji gave him 25 Sikhs, including 5 advisors to start with, but that number increased rapidly to become 40,000. Guruji also gave him 5 arrows from his personal stock, a Nishan Sahib, and a Hukamnama, and a Nagara. He gave these supplies to him as support to bring the Mughals down and help him lead the Sikhs. The Hukamnama said that the Guruji gave him permission to lead the Sikhs. Even Banda Singh Bahadur sent letters out to the Sikhs, calling them to the army. Even the poorest of Sikhs borrowed money at ridiculous interest prices to buy weapons for the army. He first captured Ganthal and demanded that the ruler give all the taxes and horses to the Sikhs, which the ruler agreed to as long as he kept his power. After getting the supplies from Ganthal, Bahadur Ji set his eyes on Samarkand. This was the wealthiest city under Mughal rule in northern India. He not only wanted the wealth of the city, but he wanted vengeance on the executors of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and the Sahib Zadas. Banda Singh also brought down Nawab Wazir Khan as a consequence for ending the younger Sahib Zadas' lives. Wazir Khan was the ruler of Sirhind, one of the most politically important provinces in the Mughal Empire. After defeating the Nawab at Sirhind, he established a Sikh rule. After establishing the rule, he minted a coin with the faces of the Gurus on them. He also created a seal for his kingdom while it lasted. It said, Deg o Deg o Fateh o Nusrat Bedar, Yafat az Nanak, Guru Gobind Singh. The victory of the pot and the sword had been obtained from the unwavering support of Gurus. The gist of this was established Deg, provision for the poor, Deg, protection and justice, and Fateh, victory. He laid the foundation of the Sikh Empire, which Maharaja Ranjit Singh later established. The foundation was the same as the Mughals. The land, the throne, the capital, the coin, the stamp, the flag, the army, and the royalty. The one difference was that under Banda Singh Bahadur, the Sikhs used the Guru's name and not their own. Banda Singh Bahadur's rule was ended when the Mughals laid siege on him and the rest of the Khalsa army at the fort of Gurdaspur. Banda Singh Bahadur is one of the most legendary figures I have ever learned about. He was a brave, valiant soldier for Guru Gobind Singh Ji and the rest of the month. He was also a great leader and commander. He was such a great leader that the 25 Sikhs that were given to him originally became 500, which became 40,000. He did this by triggering the emotions of the Sikhs so that they gave up their lives and joined his army to bring justice to the most supreme empire of his day. His genius as a commander was exposed when he took Ganthal with only infantry. He was also very faithful to the Guru, and before he died, he did not submit to the Mughals, so they punished him very severely. The punishment was that his son's heart was cut out and thrust into his mouth. Also, the 700 Sikhs that were captured with him were all killed before him in the 7 days leading up to his death. Being brave, valiant, a leader, a commander, and being devoted to the Guru are all